one of electric tension as Flight 153 from Moscow begins its erratic descent, bearing Alan Bastard, the former MP who has spent the last 3 years in a Russian prison camp. And the question on everyone's lips is, how will he have been affected by this appalling ordeal? Will he be the same man with the same drive and joie de vivre, or will he be a pathetic husk of his former self? I know that's really 5 questions, but things are very tense here.
We are now approaching RAF Lionel. Please extinguish all smoking materials.
God.
Fasten your seatbelt, Mr. Bastard. And return to the upright position.
Oh. One upright position coming in.
Historic airstrip that has witnessed the return of Terry Waite, Brian Keenan and John McCarthy. And we very much hope that Mr. Bastard will be giving a press conference to explain how it was he became a prisoner in the notorious Gulag.
Monsieur Bastard! Monsieur Bastard! Welcome home, Monsieur Bastard!
Home isn't your home, you're a frog or some such.
Alan, did you get anything to eat on the flight?
My sex life is absolutely none of your business.
Monsieur Bastard! Monsieur Bastard!
How does Russia compare to Britain? Well, it's dirty, it's depressed, it's poverty-stricken, it's riddled with corruption. But it's my home.
Alan, one more. Alan, can you tell us how you became a Russian political prisoner?
Yes, I can. I was betrayed by the 2 people who I loved and trusted more than anyone else in the world, apart from, obviously, Margaret Thatcher. I'm not naming any names, but they know who they are.
What do you feel about the Tory victory? Well, it was an absolute disaster. I mean, our whole campaign was designed to lose, so we could put Labour back in and they could carry the can for the total collapse of the British economy. I mean, consider the facts. We destroyed the health service, we dismantled the state education system, and we demolished British industry. Do you realise 25 years ago, the manufacturing sector employed 11 million people? Today, it consists of one man called Kevin who runs a bicycle repair shop in Ripon. And he's working on short time. We hiked up the interest rates so that millions of traditional Tory voters could no longer afford to pay their mortgages. And on top of all that, we chose for Prime Minister a bank clerk with all the charisma of a contraflow system, and still Kinnock managed to avoid winning the election. I underestimated the man.
Can you tell us about your daily routine inside the prison camp?
No, I'm afraid I can't, Froggy, because I've signed an exclusive contract with Robert Maxwell to give his papers my amazing story.
But haven't you heard? Maxwell's dead.
Oh, really? Well, he was looking larger than life at the Vladivostok Hilton yesterday afternoon. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, what a relief.
Oh, yes, that does look better.
Now, Gravy, are you sure you don't mind me driving? It's just that it's been ages.
Oh, of course not, be my guest.
Righto. Might be a bit rusty at first. Off we go.
Yes, I see what you mean. So what now, Bastard? You've lost your seat, your businesses are all ruined.
I know, it's also desperately depressing. Well, I shall just have to cheer myself up by killing my wife. In the most protracted manner possible.
Oh.
What do you mean, You're not knobbing her again, are you?
No, but just listen to this.
Alan, darling, so glad you're back in one piece. Now, before you start planning to revenge yourself on me for abandoning you in Russia, I should warn you that I'm now engaged to be married to Count Otto von Munchweiler, former Olympic pentathlon champion and crack shot. So I've no doubt that he can protect me more than adequately.
I see.
Why, you conceited little pillock.
So, what do you know about this von Rottweiler character?
Rich, good-looking, and he happens to be an MEP for somewhere in East Germany.
Oh, God, he's not a member of the European Parliament. Dreary.
Not at all. It's the biggest gravy boat since the fall of the Roman Empire.
Gravy boat?
Yeah, it's like a gravy train, only bigger and slower, and you can help yourself as often as you like.
Then why isn't your snout in the trough?
Well, it wouldn't be if I hadn't lost my damn seat. Anne Major promised me Secretary of State for European Affairs.
But I thought you had a majority of 10,000.
Yes, but unfortunately the local voters seem to think that as Environment Minister I shouldn't have cited a nuclear waste reprocessing plant right in the middle of my own constituency.
Naughty, naughty.
Read your windows.
All right, Jesus! Terrorists!
All right, free for free!
I think I've just invented a new blood sport. So tell me, Gravy, why don't you just kick some Tory backwoodsman upstairs and take his seat?
Well, I tried, but everyone's afraid of moving up to the House of Lords now that Maggie's there.
Of course. What about Piers Fletcher Davis?
The first name I thought of, but he wasn't interested, said the seat had been in his family for generations.
Well, did you ask him nicely?
Of course.
Well, that's where you went wrong.
Don't worry, Gervais. Oh, no, it's all right. Alan can't hurt your daddy. He's not allowed in Parliament now. And even if he did get in, there's a policeman outside the door.
There you are, Constable. 2,000 pounds. Have a pleasant Hello, Pierre. Oh, I see you're sharing with John Selwyn Gummer these days.
I didn't do it. I didn't do
You
it.
didn't do what?
Leaving behind in Russia. It was all Sarah's idea. I'm too stupid, you know that. I thought a gulag was a Hungarian casserole.
Never mind, Piers. No harm done.
Wait, you mean you forgive me?
Of course, Piers. These are the caring 90s after all.
Thank you, Alan. Oh, and to think, I had a cyanide pill installed in one of my teeth, just in case. Yes.
Which one?
Oh, this one here. I better toot along to the dentist and get it removed.
No, Piers. After all, what are friends for? Here we are. Hello, my little beauties. Start with this one.
No!
Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
I better use the extra pointy one. Ouch. Mouth, Piers. Wider. Let's have a little look, shall we?
Gotta have a local anaesthetic.
Of course you can, Piers. That local enough for you? Now then, let's try the really big ones. Now, it's the one at the back, you said, nice and wide. That's it, there we go. He's a stubborn little bugger, isn't he? There he is. Say thank you, Piers.
Thank you, Piers.
Now, Piers, here's something you can do for me.
Oh, yes.
I'd like you to resign your seat.
I can't possibly resign, Alan. They're tipping me to become the next Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Piers, what is 2 and 2?
4.
Well, it's not the job for you. You're far too overqualified.
No, I'm sorry, Alan, but the seat has been in my family for generations, and one day I hope Gervais will become MP in my place.
Really?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Coochie coochie coo. Oh, coochie coochie coo.
Oh, coochie coo. Yes. Who's a chubby little fella then?
Yes. Too many constituency lunches, I'm afraid.
I was talking to the baby, Piers. Oh, look. That's a long way down, isn't it? Tell me, Piers, were you thinking of having the little chap baptised?
Well, we hadn't really decided.
Oh, I think we could do it right now, Piers. There! Well, the Thames is running fast and deep and dark. No! What are you talking about, Piers? Lambeth Palace is only a couple of minutes downstream. The Archbishop can wave a blessing as the little mite brushes by.
What shall I do? What shall I do?
Oh, he's getting heavy.
No, I'll resign. I'll do anything. I'll resign.
Really? All right, then, Piers. Oh! There's your little chappie.
Oh, well, Gervais. Off down the job centre, I suppose.
Piers, what are you talking about, job centre? Don't worry. I have plans for you. Listen, as soon as Sir Greville takes over your seat, Major is going to make him the Secretary of State for ripping off the European community. He will wield enormous power. And if you play your cards right, he might even make you a commissioner.
Really? Could he do that? Oh, but that's wonderful. When I was little, I used to stand outside the Swindon Soldo and watch the man shout, "Seats in all parts! Seats in all parts!" I love the uniform, the gold braid and the cap.
What are you talking about?
Becoming a commissioner. Do you think I'll get in to see the films for free?
Piers, sadly, this has nothing to do with cinemas. No, commissioners are the 18 most powerful people in Europe. And you'll be right in there, in the hot seat.
Oh, the hot seat!
The hot seat!
Hello, what is a hot seat?
Piers, sometimes you just make things too easy, don't you? Turn around.
Yes.
2 paces to the window.
1, 2.
Bend over.
Yes.
Flaps.
Uh-huh.
And this, Piers, is a hot seat. Ah, it's good to be back. Who needs coal?
Don't mind me, Otto. You get stuck into her. You went first. In fact, the only difference between my wife and the Eiffel Tower is that it costs 25 francs to get up the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, how lovely to see you. And how apt of you to conceal yourself in a stable full of horse shit.
Say your prayers, Sarah.
I think not, Herr Scheißschuss. Lay one finger on my fiancée and I will horsewhip you to within a centimetre of your life.
Oh, my God, it's a walking Teutonic cliché factory. Have you seen him, Sarah?
One thing, darling. When Otto goes riding, he's not in the habit of putting a thermos flask down his jodhpurs.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'll see to the horses. Olympic gold medal winning show jumpers need careful treatment. Although, I think perhaps a good wash would not do you any harm either. What?
I just want to say, Sarah, that if you think you can rip me off in the divorce court, well, then you better remember our prenuptial agreement. Everything is mine. The house, the land.
Darling, there's no need for divorce.
Why not?
Because I've persuaded the Court of Probate to declare you officially dead. So in the eyes of the law, I'm a rich widow. Everything's mine. The houses, the cars, the Swiss bank account.
Not the Swiss accounts. But what am I going to live on?
Well, you could always get a job.
A what?
A job, you know, where you go somewhere every day, do something undignified. And at the end of the week, they give you a sum of money barely sufficient to buy a cocktail at Annabelle's.
Shall I throw him off our land, my little Edelweiss?
Yeah. Just let me get my camera.
Look, Sarah, you can't do this to me. I've just come out of a Russian prison. I had nothing to eat but thin potato soup. Unless I was lucky enough to win the weekly cockroach raffle. This is stupid. Have you any idea what it's like to wake up in the middle of the Siberian night with a rat gnawing at your private parts?
As far as I'm concerned, darling, you're describing our honeymoon.
And on top of that, I get £70,000 a year, a huge office, and a chauffeur-driven car. But best of all, I get one of these. Yeah. But Piers, what happened to the commissionaire's uniform? The gold braid, the little torch to show people to their seats? Oh, yes. I was a little bit silly, wasn't I, Ellen? Still, I'm learning. Oh, my God, what's
Here, everything is on Brussels. Humanity.
Yes.
There's safety.
Safety.
Safety in Europe, Piers.
Yeah, safety, that's And I bet you didn't know that the European community is the same thing as the common market.
No, really?
Oh, yes. And I've also found out that Holland and the Netherlands are in the same place.
That's caused the most terrible overcrowding, Piers.
You're right. Do you think I ought to do something about it as Commissioner, Alan?
Absolutely, Piers. Well, we must issue an ultimatum immediately. If Holland doesn't withdraw from the Netherlands at once, then we'll cut off their timber supply and decimate the clong industry.
Do it.
Well, nice little office.
Oh, I'm so powerful now, Alan. I could do anything.
Ready? Can you make coffee?
Yes.
2 sugars.
Righty-ho.
Ah, there you are, Bastard. Making yourself at home, I see.
Yes, I think I can get used to this. So, how does one join?
Well, I think I could sell you a safe seat for the 1994 Euro elections.
94? Oh, no, Gravy, I can't wait that long. No, Europe is a vast, comatose chicken just begging for a damn good plucking. Oh, I can almost feel the gravy dribbling down my chin as we speak.
Tell me, how did you get on with the lovely Sarah? I've been scouring the obituaries, but so far nothing.
I know. Before I could get my fingers around her deceiving little throat, Von Legover frog-marched me off my own land. She's typical bloody kraut behaviour.
Oh, come, Alan. We're all in Europe now. We mustn't call the Jerrys Krauts anymore. Besides, he's Danish.
What? Well, then how come he represents an East German seat?
Oh, you are so silly sometimes, Alan.
Excuse me, Gravy. Piers! Is that coffee piping hot?
Oh, yes.
Sorry, Gravy. You were saying, carry on.
Well, actually, Fletcher Dervish is quite right for once. You can stand for election in any European constituency.
Really?
Oh, yes, yes. In fact, last time around, David Steele stood in Italy.
What happened?
No one noticed it.
No change there, then.
But if you really can't bear to wait until 94, just look out for a by-election. I mean, there are 518 MEPs, so statistically, one must die every week.
All right. One must die every week.
Wake up, darling. another busy day ahead. I love you. Otto, you're cold.
I came as soon as I heard. Good news has that effect on me.
Beg your pardon.
Oh, sorry. It's the shock. So, how is she?
Oh, obviously, she's had a very severe trauma. Well, people aren't used to waking up next to something so horrific and disgusting.
No, I suppose not. Well, not unless you're David Mellor's mistress. I wonder, could I see her?
Oh, there's no point. She's very heavily sedated. She doesn't really know what's going on.
Please. Please.
Oh, very well. But try not to overstimulate her.
The Chippendales couldn't overstimulate her.
As long as you don't take more than a couple of minutes.
Who's been talking? Sarah. Sarah, darling, how are you? Terrible shame about poor Otto, wasn't it? Silly chap quite lost his head over you, didn't he? Apparently, Silage, the gardener, admitted in his suicide note that he actually murdered Otto because he couldn't stand to see the young master, me, being cuckolded by a Krat. No, sorry, Dane. Gotta hand it to old Silage, though. Must be the first time a hedge trim has been used in a joint suicide and murder bid. Come to think of it, must be the first time the Halter Price Staghounds have had German MEP for breakfast. Anyway, look what I brought you. I just had a few documents drawn up, putting all my property back in my name, and, oh, look, all of yours as well. So, I know this must be a terribly difficult time for you, darling, but seeing as I'm here, if you wouldn't mind just signing here, and here, and also this cheque made out to Bolivian Assassination Services Limited for £10,000. That's lovely. Didn't hurt, did it? All done. Shall we shake on it?
Look, I'm sorry, Queen Beatrix, but either Holland gets out of the Netherlands, or I'll be forced to call in the United Nations. The Dutch? What have the Dutch got to do with anything? Silly old Queen.
Ah, there you are, Piers. Put the kettle on, would you?
Right. Look, Alan, I am not your servant. I am the European Commissioner for Internal Relations.
Yes, Piers, and what does that job involve?
Well, I don't know. I've only been here a fortnight.
Well, I'll tell you what your job involves then, Piers. It involves helping me to rid the European community of its more embarrassing excesses. For instance, I'm particularly keen to make savage inroads into the money mountain.
Yes, but you've got nothing to do with the community, Alan.
Not this week, Piers, no, but next week I'm standing in the by-election in the constituency of the late Otto von Minute. You have got a body, next minute you haven't got a body. And then I shall be the MEP for Oh, bugger it, somewhere in Germany, anyway.
You can't be sure of that, Alan. I mean, it's not as if you'll be standing unopposed.
Oh, I think I will, Piers. I think I will. Especially after that tragic accident where the Social Democrat candidate fell down that mine shaft.
Oh, that's awful. When did that happen?
Tomorrow, Piers. Which, in the words of the famous song, belongs to me.